What's up, Nail Geeks? I am back again and I am switching things up a little bit to present you guys with the Breast Cancer Awareness Box for 2020 hosted by Turtle Tootsie Polishes. If you did not know, the maker, Chrissy, is actually a survivor herself. So this box is just super special, very awesome. It's for awareness and a portion of proceeds from the sales, whether you get the full box or the individual items on their own, a portion of that will go to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. So this box is annual. I want to say this is the third or fourth box at this point. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's the third box. I digress. So we have many polishes to check out. The whole theme is pink, so I am representing the pink myself too. And there's a lot of goodies. So I have all the polishes in this box to show you guys, and I have two extras that will also be available for purchase. So I'm going to break all of this down below in the description box as I normally do. For the sale dates and the pre-order dates and all that good stuff, so you guys can have the information and it's not super info overload. Some of the items are capped. Per usual, I'm going to have that in the swatching part of the video so you guys can actually see what the caps are. I'm super thankful that I was able to be a part of this and be able to present it to you guys, so I wanted to make it a little special. So hello, here I am. Am I doing this going forward for my videos? Probably not. I am always spamming you guys with videos, especially on the weekends, so I don't know if I will continue doing this. I might just keep it for special occasions and all that good stuff. I don't know yet. It's so much for me to figure out on how I'm doing all this, how I have this set up. I mean, there are wires everywhere in front of me, so we'll see. But this is special and this is what I wanted to do for it. So to start off with, I wanted to show you guys the necklace that is in the box. It is by the maker Gilded Rebel, and it's an adorable metal pendant charm that is hand stamped with the word strong on it, and it's got an adorable little rose quartz on it. So the back of it for the clasp, it is an adjustable one, so you can wear it closer to you or farther away, however you prefer. This one is not capped, but we'll get more on that later, but just wanted to show you guys what it looks like this. So without further ado, let's take a look at the polishes. So first up, we have 6 Harts polish. This is Take All the Silly Selfies, described as a lilac leaning pink hollow with subtle green shimmer. This one is capped at 70 bottles. So this has a super creamy, rich formula. I'm going to classify it as a 1 coater. It's so satisfying on those brush strokes, an absolute buttery type of formula. It's got a load of that holographic type of depth to it. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest 2 thin coats. Those of you who have been subscribed for a while know that if something is a 1 coater, I still want to wear it at 2 very light coats just to plump it out and get that really nice rich appearance on my nails. This is a very flattering type of lilac polish. It's just really pretty, and when topped off with a glossy top coat, it plumps out so nicely, and you can see on that full hand shot here just that really gorgeous type of holographic effect with that subtle green shimmer. And next we've got Alter Ego. This is Armor On Ready to Fight, described as a pastel pink chrome base. There is no cap on this one. So this has another wonderful formula to it. I almost want to classify this one as a 1 coater too. It's got a super smooth formula. This is another crazy flattering type of pink. It's almost got a foiled like finish to it. And for opacity, I think 2 light coats are going to do you the best, and it's just crazy pretty. This whole box is gorgeous. Very flattering types of pinks. So here on that second coat, you can see it plumped out really nicely, very wonderful, and it does dry down flat. So I think this would be really awesome mattified, but you guys know I'm a glossy gal, so I topped off with a glossy top coat, and you can see just how pretty that is on the final hand shot. And Anger and Heart Lacquer brings us Feel for Lumps, Save Your Bumps. This is a vibrant mint, kind of aqua green Crelly with contrasting pink to fuchsia to gold to green shimmer. There is a cap of 200 bottles on this one. So this has a very Crelly-like formula to it. There's quite a bit of squish on those brush strokes, And for opacity, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on it. Now, this does build up and plump out very nicely at 3 light coats, but please note if you have a prominent free edge like myself, you might see just a touch of your smile line. So if that bugs you, I'm going to recommend a color correcting base coat of some sort if you want to cancel that out. Overall, I think this is another really flattering shade, and that pink element to this one is that lovely pink shimmer. Now at angles you can easily see it shift over to a lovely fuchsia and then a gold and a green. It's very shifty. It is what I consider to be a finer particle type of shimmer, so it's light and delicate but definitely noticeable in person, and it does dry down somewhat flat, but I'd still recommend a good glossy top coat just to make that shimmer pop like crazy. And next we have Bee's Knees Lacquer. This is FU Cancer 2020, described as a dark mushroom with glowy pink shimmer. So another really interesting take on the pink element here. The base color I definitely agree with. I can't think of a better way to describe it, is that dark mushroom type of shade. It's on the warmer side, and the shimmer itself kind of warms it up too. So for opacity, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats. It's got a very smooth type of formula to it, and in indoor lighting, you'll definitely see that very strong glowy pink shimmer with it. Very luminous, and it self-levels very nicely, as you can see on this first coat here, and it builds up very easily. It applies almost like a cream in my opinion, just really super smooth formula. And you can see here in the full hand shot that shimmer is super luminous, and after topping off with a glossy top coat, it's plumped up real nice, and it's just very, very glowy. And Coloristic Carol brings us Shine Bright. This is a medium pink crelly with pink shimmer and pink and silver hollow glitter. There is no cap on this one. So this has a very true, very typical crelly type of formula. It's got a touch of squish to it. It behaves similar to a jelly, but it's got a really creamy, smooth formula. I really enjoyed how the glitters in this one are of the larger variety, but I got plenty of them on my brush, so no need for fishing or placement or anything like that. Just go in normal and you'll get that nice scattered effect across your nail. And that base color is a lovely flattering type of light, almost bubblegum pink, but not quite. It's kind of flirting with being a baby pink. I do feel like the video is being color accurate, at least on my monitor, to what I'm seeing in person. That formula is wonderful, and this one self-levels very well too, and just really nice plumping factor happening here as well. Now again, I'm going to suggest a really good glossy top coat just to smooth everything out, which is what you're seeing here on the full hand shot, and I am good to go. And Crystal Knockout brings us Strong Spirit. This is a bright pink to pale pink thermal filled with iridescent glitters and color shifting flakes in purple and aqua. There is no cap on this one. So this has a very jelly-like feel on application. It has that super strong squishy-like factor on those brush strokes. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats, with the caveat that the warm state to this is a milky, very pale type of pink. So I think if you wear between 2 and 3 coats and you have a prominent free edge like myself, you might see just the tiniest bit of visible nail line, but it's a soft, very delicate color overall, so I think it looked really, really good this way. Now the thermal properties to this are very, very reactive, as you can see on the video, and the full hand shot here shows the warm state, and with the ice water you guys can see what it looks like in the cold state. It's a very vibrant type of bright pink, almost neon but not quite, just a really in-your-face type of pink. Again, I'm going to recommend a good glossy top coat to seal everything in, and you'll get that exploitation of those flakes. And Cuticula brings us Stronger Than Yesterday. This is a pink crelly with various colored micro flakes, pink and orange holographic flakes, blue and green metallic micro flakes, and green to blue ultra chameleon chrome shifting flakes. There is no cap on this one. So this has another really smooth crelly-like formula. However, it behaves more of like a cream in my opinion. But it does have just a touch of that squish factor for a jelly. So the base color, in my opinion, is a little tricky. I feel like this is a definite pink, but it's got a strong purple undertone to it. So I think depending on your lighting, you might see it have just a touch of a purple type of lean, and then in very bright lights, it appears a little bit more of a pink lean to it. Now the flakes in this one, there's a load of them in here, And for opacity, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats once again. You can see on that second coat just a moment ago that it was pretty opaque, but I wanted to see what a third coat would look like. And it might be overkill, but I really liked how much it plumped out. And after topping off with a glossy top coat, it's got that really lovely type of thicker appearance to it, which is what I prefer to wear on my nails. And Fair Maiden Polish brings us Braveheart. This is a classic hot pink with eye-catching magenta to green shifting shimmer. There is no cap on this one. So this one was a tricky little minx to show to you guys. It was a bit troublesome when I was going through my swatches. I worried that it was coming out like this super eye-searing type of pink, which it is. It's definitely very, very vibrant, but I worried that it was going to come off kind of orange leaning because of the shimmer. But watching the playback here, I think it's pretty color accurate. It's very, very bright, and there's a very strong greenish shift that is happening too. So lots of depth with it. Now it does have a very dense jelly-like feel to it on application. I'm going to suggest 2 coats for it. I really didn't see a need to go up to a third coat, unless of course you're rocking super long nails, then you might need a third thin coat, but I think for the majority, 2 coats will be just fine. Now this one also dries down flat, so again you are seeing a glossy top coat in the full hand shot. And Kathleen and Company brings us Shine On. This is described as a pale pink shimmer with gold shimmer and hollow micro glitter. There is a cap of 75 bottles on it. I get this really strong vintage vibe with this, but it's got like a modern take on it. It's crazy flattering. It feels like a polish that I probably would have stolen from my mom a long time ago, but it's got that really super strong effect in that it's not so much this metallic like thing. It's very creamy and smooth on the brush strokes, and I really enjoyed the scattered hollow micro glitter here. They are of a very fine particle, so you'll get that just really gentle type of twinkle in the background. I was really impressed with this one too. Very, very pretty. I think this is going to be one that flatters just about any skin tone. So if you have medium to deep tones, I was a little wary of it at first, seeing the warm lean to it, but I love the way it looked on me. So definitely one that I think is going to look good on everyone. And Lollipop Posse Lacquer brings us All Doors Are Open. This is described as a magenta berry crelly filled with pink to green to gold, shifting ultra chameleon chrome flakes. So this is incredibly complex with the flakes. There is so much to see here. The base color is definitely a deep type of magenta, but the flakes kind of overtake everything in the best way possible. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats. This is really going to depend on your preference for how it looks in the end, as I feel like it does have that jelly-like feel when you wear it between 2 and 3 coats. So it'll look a little bit different. It'll definitely deepen out. But you can see here on that second coat, it plumped up really nice, and no matter what, you're going to get a ton of those flakes on your brush, and it's definitely a generous helping of this super shift. So for the second coat, I went in with that icing method, and I kind of beaded it up against my cuticle and then gently spread it out, and you can see there's so much here. It is absolutely lovely, and the flakes themselves give this strong gold and orange and copper type of effect to it, and topping off with a glossy top coat, it just craziness. It's so flaky and shifty in person. And Lynn B Designs brings us Tata for Now. This is described as the palest of pink bases with pink to blue to purple shifting shimmer and hollow micro flakes. There is no cap on this one. This is another one that I really enjoyed. I just think the makers really brought their A game to this box. They're so pretty, and I think there's something for everyone here. Even if you typically shy away from pinks, there's so much goodness to see. But I digress. So this has a crelly-like formula with a heavier jelly type lean to it. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest going in for 3 thin coats on it. When you do that, it really builds up that shimmer, which is very, very strong. In indoor lighting, you'll see this purpley blue type of shift with it. It is very, very pretty. And of course, in sunlight, those hollow microflakes will definitely give you a lovely sparkle. So on the third coat here, you can see that it really pops for opacity, and it's got that super strong shimmer, really lovely, lovely shade. And that base color, I definitely agree, is a super pale pink. It almost leans like a white, but in person you can kind of see between the shimmer and the base color that it's almost like if you took a pearl and just barely had a pink undertone to it. And Music City Beauty brings us Perfect. This is a full coverage micro glitter full of pink galaxy hollow, silver hollow, and bright pink hollow micro glitters. Cap on this one is 70. So this is very appropriately named, if you ask me. It is gorgeous. I'm a big time glitter fan, and this is wonderful. It is a full coverage glitter. You can see even on this first coat here, it's giving me wonderful coverage against my free edge. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest 2 coats on it. It's got this rich type of effect when you apply, very easy on the nail. Now it does dry down quite a bit on the thirsty side, so you're going to want to use either some type of glitter smoothing top coat or a really good glossy top coat. It's not so much textured per se, but it is quite thirsty. Now when you do use that glossy top coat, as you'll see here in just a moment on the full hand shot, it is so bling-tastic. I love it. It's just really in your face for those sparkles. Absolutely gorgeous. I kind of wish more makers did these types of finishes, as they are so sparkly and fun. And Nail Hoot brings us Keep Calm and Fight On. This is described as a dainty pink polish laced with coppery shimmers, scattered hollow, and delicate iridescent and holographic glitters. This one does not have a cap on it. Now, I wanted to show you guys that little ring that came on the bottle. The bottles do come like that, and that ring, you can definitely remove it off the bottle, and it's basically like a swatch ring, so you can polish onto that little butterfly bow looking thing, and it's kind of like a swatch ring when you have it stored away somewhere. So this has a very crelly-like feel to it. It does dry down quite a bit on the flat side, but it builds up and plumps up very smooth on the nail. Very easy to build it up. So for opacity, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats with a glossy top coat. This pops very, very well with that glossy top coat, and it sparkles like crazy. So the copper shimmer here is a little bit on the subtle side, but you can very much see it in person. I think the whole thing came together really wonderfully. And Nailed It brings us Fighter. This is a slate gray linear hollow with pink to gold shifting shimmer. There is a cap of 100 bottles on this one. So I really enjoy formulas like this one. They're very complex, and of course when you go out in the sunshine, they're going to light up with that holographic goodness. This has a very smooth, creamy, rich formula to it. For opacity, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats, depending on how you polish. You can see here, as I build up on that second coat, I think it was fine, but honestly, I wanted to see what a third coat would look like and see how plump I could get it. Honestly, I feel like it's almost overkill going in for that third coat, so this is definitely going to depend on how you polish and your preference and all that good stuff, but it's definitely opaque at 2 coats. Now this one does dry down on the semi-gloss side, so I think any top coat will be just fine with it. And when you are indoors, you will see that very strong pink shimmer with it, and an easy shift over to gold. And of course, like I said previously, when you go out in the sun, it'll get real fun with all of that awesome holographic goodness. And Poetry Cowgirl Polish brings us Check Yourself. This is described as a bright pink jelly filled with hot pink micro flakies, silver hollow micro glitters, and pink to gold to blue to green iridescent flakes. And there is no cap on this one. So we have a jelly-like formula. There's quite a bit of a squish factor with it. Now for opacity on this, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats, again depending on how you polish. There's a ton of those small flakes in here. The majority of them are on the smaller side, so you'll get that strong iridescent-like effect with them, and it gives you this pond effect so that you can see those flakes in between your layers. Now it does dry down on the flat side, as you can see between my coats. And I would recommend a glossy top coat once again to really make this one pop. I do feel like the video is showing you guys what I'm seeing in person in terms of color. This is a very vibrant type of pink, very bright, very in your face. It's got a touch of a cool type of undertone to it. But of course the flakes and the shimmer here definitely kind of warm it up a little bit. But for being a bright magenta, I do feel like this is another one that's going to be pretty universally flattering on skin tones. So really fun, very pretty, and you can see here as I build it up, the flakes are giving off their own type of rainbow. So once again, on the full hand shot, I've got a glossy top coat on, and you can see that those smaller types of flakes give this really nice, almost confetti-like effect. And Polish them brings us Love, Life, Hope. This is a black and magenta with pink metallic glitter and pink shimmer. It also has teal glass flecks and a touch of pink galaxy holographic glitter. There is a cap of 65 bottles on this. This has a very rich, dense, smooth formula. I think most are going to be able to get away with 2 coats on it as it builds up very, very quickly to opacity. This is the vampy type of take on the pink theme. It is very, very pretty. It almost reminds me of a bit of a plum type of lean as we build it up here. There's a ton of sparkle with this too. Now I'm going to suggest a really good glossy top coat or a glitter smoothing top coat. So it wasn't super textured when it dried down. However, it does dry down very, very flat and a touch thirsty. So in the final shot here, you can see that glossy top coat and just how much sparkle there is to this one. And Quixotic Polish brings us Now More Than Ever. This is a vivid pink crelly loaded with pink to gold to green shifting iridescent flakes, and it will not have a cap on it. So this has just a touch darker type of pink if you are wanting to compare it to that Poetry Cowgirl versus the Poetry Cowgirl came off more of a magenta type of base color, and the Quixotic here has a more true type of pinkish tone to it. I do feel like on my monitor, once again, I feel like this is what I'm seeing in person, but just in case, I just wanted to clarify that if it comes off skewed on anybody else's screens. So we have a very crelly-like formula. It's got a ton of squish factor to your brush strokes. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats, depending on how you polish. I think most are going to be just fine at 2 coats, but again, going to depend on how you typically apply. So it plumps up very, very nicely on that second coat, and you can see just how vibrant that type of pink is. Mostly like a true pink, definitely reminds me of like Barbie type of pink. It is very pretty. Now the flakes in this one are of the medium and somewhat larger varieties, so you get that nice iridescent effect from them. Rogue Lacquer brings us Love You Through It. This is described as a white crelly with rose pink and gold metallic flakes with micro gold holographic glitters and scattered hollow finish. This has a very crelly-like formula, but it leans very, very creamy during application. It has a dense type of feel to it in that it builds up very, very quickly to opacity. So overall, I'm going to suggest 2 coats, and I think most are going to be just fine. That base color is a lovely type of soft white, but I do think it's leaning towards a stark white. And those little rose pink and gold metallic flakes are so cute. They are of these small variety, so you'll get that nice dense scatter across your nail with a subtle sparkle too. Now this does dry down quite a bit on the flat side, so I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat. And 77 Lacquer brings us Hope, Strength, Love. This is a pink leaning orchid base with pink to blue to purple shimmer and black glitter mix. This one will not have a cap on it. So we have a very jelly-like formula to it. It's starts off just a touch on the sheer side, but you'll see here in just a moment it builds up very quickly to opacity. Now it is what I would consider more of a softer type of finish, so depending on if you wear it between 2 or 3 coats will depend on how that orchid base comes out. Now what really catches your eyes here is that blue shimmer. It's very strong in person, and depending on your lighting it'll have a purple lean to it and sometimes even a pinkish type of lean. So per usual, my bottles get a good shake before applying, and I had no problems in terms of placement or needing to fish or anything. So just apply it normally and you'll get that nice mix across your nails in a really nice scattering type fashion. So this dries down on the flat side. So once again, you're going to need a good glossy top coat, and it'll really help that shimmer to pop and shine through. And you can see here on my final shot, really nice strong shimmer action happening. And Turtle Tootsie Polish brings us Giving Up is Not an Option. This is described as a mauve pink hollow base with rose gold shimmer and gold flakes. This one will not have a cap on it either. So we have a very smooth, dense, creamy type of formula. It is very satisfying on those brush strokes in how it builds up, and it plumps out very quickly between that second and third coat. This is really going to depend, once again, on how you apply, whether or not you go to 2 or 3 coats. If you apply normally, then you could definitely get away with 2 coats, but if you polish on the lighter side, you might need a 3rd coat. So really going to depend. Now, the gold flakes in this one are of the somewhat metallic type variety, so as you build them up, you'll see them have that almost reflective like sparkle with it. And of course, there is that lovely rose gold shimmer that kind of gives it that almost gilded like effect. Again, I'm going to suggest a really good glossy top coat to make this one pop. And Under a Hula Moon brings us a coral wax with scent notes of bergamot, grapefruit, and orange blended with notes of fresh laundry dried on a beachy breeze. There is no cap on this one. So once again, I'm switching things up and I'm going to flat out show you guys how I melt these bad boys. So I typically take off a cube and I have this really cute wax warmer here. And I'm just showing you guys what I am trying to come across as a satisfying melt video. I don't know if I really mastered that. We'll see, so let me know about that. But the scent notes to this one, I'm definitely picking up this very clean type of somewhat tea-like grapefruit and orange at the very top notes, and then I'm getting that laundry type of beach breeze on the undertones to it. Now, I want to say that the throw on this is very, very strong. I almost feel like when I was melting this, I probably could have gotten away with using half a cube. So if you've got like a larger house or whatnot, then you'll definitely want to use one of the cubes. But if you're in an apartment like myself, I think a half a cube is good. It's got a strong, strong throw. So I do want to apologize for my tardiness on this post. I do like to get my videos out to you guys well before it releases. So I do apologize about that. But I'm here and we have beautiful polishes for a beautiful cause. So the pre-order is currently going on right now. And again, just to remind you guys, $25 from every full box, $1.50 from each polish, and 10% on the additional goodies will be donated to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And each polish individually is $12, and there's extra goodies. It's all listed out in the shop. Of course, you can grab a full-size box of just the polishes, or you can grab a full-size box with all the things in it. So this pre-order is currently going on and will close September 13th. I'll link you guys below to Turtle Tootsie's shop so you guys can check out all the goodies that are being offered for this pre-order. And just remember, some of these are capped. I did see as of this morning, a few polishes were added in addition to the caps, for example, Lollipop. So if you're wanting any of these, definitely get in there and grab them. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.